Welcome to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, presented by Yamaha.
Hello and welcome to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. I'm Lauren Bolander with Captain Rick Murphy, and tonight, big show on hunting.
Absolutely. Cool. You know, Lauren, I love hunting, as you know. It's my passion, so I'm very excited about this show.
Absolutely. We're going to get started, but first we have to welcome Captain Gray Drummond. He's from the Florida Outdoor Experience. He's over at the workbench for us tonight. Welcome, Gray. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here. We're going to have a great show.
Yeah.
Can't wait to show off some of these great products and talk about some new products.
All right. Rick, he brought a
you
couple
look a little
of toys.
nervous, Lauren.
We're always nervous when we got a new guy in the house. Let's just be honest.
He's actually the well-ammoed new guy.
So, Lauren, let's talk a little bit about the theme species. You know, deer hunting in Florida is a really big thing. We've got a couple photos, or 3 photos here. Actually, we got Captain Gray Drummond with a beautiful buck that he shot with his bow. What an outstanding buck. And then the next picture is a buck that I shot at the Drummond farm. So this guy wasn't asked to be here because he's a sponsor. He was asked to be here because he truly is an expert. And then Kathy's first buck that she shot at the Bass Assassin farm. So, man, everybody's hitting a part of eating some venison, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and Kathy making that camo look good.
Yeah, man.
Yep. All right, we're going to kick off our hunting chat with Captain Russell Theron in the Northeast. Russell, hunting for you is all about getting back to nature.
That's right, Lauren. How you doing there, Rick? You know, hunting and fishing, they really do go together. And, you know, I would rather hunt fish than wait on a bite. You know, in the past, I've always talked about different kinds of hunting locations and species. This year, I called my cousin Jimmy Feaster, and we talked about what hunting really was about for both of us because we love the woods so much. Now, Jimmy says he likes to see all of nature, including the birds, the squirrels, and all of the wildlife. You know, and I agree. I love to listen to the woods, the smell of the scents, and to hear the sounds of wildlife and what the wind makes. You know, the deep woods can provide a great escape from reality, but the truth is nature is reality, and her name is Mother Nature. Now, Jimmy said that the woods are wet and hot right now, and to be sure to wear rubber boots when you go into the woods, and don't wear them into town to keep the scent of the woods on your boots. Now, I also talked with my good old buddy, C. Ford Riley. Now, Ford said that he also agrees with Jimmy and I, said it's very important to maintain the old hunting skills, the values, and traditions without the aids of modern technologies. So spend as much time as you can in the woods, and this will give you a great value. Go hunting, take your family, be safe, and enjoy nature. Now, talking about the inshore red fishing, the rains continue this week. Lots of mullet are being condensed between the ICW and the coast. The falling tides Saturday and Sunday mornings are tides that you don't want to miss for that redfish bite this weekend. Now, start out at first light by throwing and casting topwater plugs along the grass lines, points, and especially in front of the creek mouths. Locate the schools of mullet and focus in the areas where the mullet are migrating. Some of the best topwaters to use are the Rappler Skitterwalk in the trout pattern, or the Excalibur Spook Jr. with the red belly, or also in the mullet pattern. Typical size redfish can run anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds, but some of the bull redfish that are running now pushing 40 to 50 pounds. Now, I've got a great photo description here of Janae, and she grew up fishing, or freshwater fishing, but she also has fallen in love with saltwater fishing and absolutely loves it. She says she really appreciates the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report because there's so much to learn here.
All right, Russell,
moving offshore, Rick.
Russell, before.
Our offshore report.
Russell, stop for a second. I got to do the navionics from your region, okay, bud? So slow down, man. Keep me in the loop here. All right, now Captain Russell's telling us, listen, he spoke about the mullet. Now, as the mullet are migrating down through Georgia and ICW from South Carolina migrating south, what you need to understand, guys, is they're going to be following the beach, and as they get into these contours right here, they're going to have to go in and around. This is a key place for the trout and the redfish and where they're going to stage. So make sure you stage up right here in Amelia Island, this area where all the creeks are, because those mullet are going to attract a lot of fish, and the predators need to be staging on all those points of the creeks. All right, Russell, go ahead and tell me what else you got for me tonight.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get ahead of you like that, Rick, but great job. Offshore, our forecast Basically, it's about the gag grouper because the best months to tag a grouper are coming up now, October, November, and December, when the water temperature reaches anywhere between 68 and 62 degrees. Now look for the grouper in 65 to 185 or 180 foot of water over the artificial reefs, wrecks, rock piles, and live bottoms. Some of the best live baits are going to be grunts, croakers, and pinfish. You can also use cut baits like grunt slugs and cut Boston mackerel. Typical size grouper going to run anywhere from 8 to 20 pounds. Now I've got another photo description here of Tim Burris, and he caught this big 24-pound red snapper taken off the St. Augustine in 115 foot of water with the help of a live pinfish. Tim caught this big snapper on the Friday, the first day of the mini season, the red snapper mini season, and that's a great looking fish, a great looking picture there. All right, we've got sailfish we want to talk about. Some of the best months to target sailfish here in North Florida are going to be coming up here in October and November. Locate the sailfish in 180 to 300 foot of water. Look for changes in the water temperature and tide lines and rips. Troll over a live bottom where there's lots of baits. Use teasers to lure up the sailfish behind your boat. Some of the best bait to use are going to be naked ballyhoo with a 7/0 or 8/0 VMC circle hook. Some of our typical sailfish are going to run anywhere from 6 to 7 feet. And most of all, I want to thank all of you guys, all of the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report fans, and our sponsors and hope to be able to see you next year. Thank y'all so very much.
All right, great job, Russell. We're going to go ahead and get to the strike zone hotspots from the Northeast region. Captain Russell says inshore, great redfish and trout. Topwater bite this weekend along the coast and the ICW. Focus on the areas of the migrating mullet. And then offshore, the grouper bite is getting better in 65 to 180 feet of water over the reefs and wrecks. Use live pinfish for bait, Lauren. You know, that's why they make shocker collars, because when a guy gets off, you just give him a zip.
You got to reel him in.
Yeah.
Reel him in. Good start by Russell. Way to go by you. Getting him back on track.
All
right, now we're going to head over to Captain Pat Deneen. Captain Pat, the Florida Panhandle has a plethora of hunting opportunities, doesn't it?
Lauren, it really does. It's real popular in the Panhandle, and like you just said, there's plenty of opportunities. I mean, right now, alligator season is ongoing, and I've seen and heard of several 10 to 11-plus foot alligators weighing 500 to even almost 600-plus pounds taken from our area rivers and creeks. Dove season is about to open next weekend, and it is open in Alabama, which is just, not far from where we are. Captain Wes Rozier, he puts together hunts, very successful hunts in both Alabama and Florida, and hopefully I'll be hunting with him this weekend. Duck hunting for teal, wood ducks, and redheads is gaining popularity. And last season, I saw more ducks on our area waters than I've ever seen in my whole life. So everybody's looking forward to that this fall. Bow season for whitetails is right around the corner. We have a lot of public property available to hunt. The Panhandle has over 20 wildlife management areas, as well as large areas of Eglin Air Force Base accessible for hunting. And if you want to hunt less pressured private property, consider joining a club. Prices range in Florida from several hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the acreage involved, as well as the number of hunters in the club. And there's a photo there of my daughter. She started expressing interest in hunting about a year ago, and she asked me, "Hey, Dad, take me hunting this fall." And that photo is of my daughter Katie Ann with a doe she shot on her first morning hunt last fall, and she's hooked now, Rick. I think June, she said, "Hey, Dad, when's hunting season open?" I said, "It's not for a couple more months." She said, "Well, what's open now?"
Well, good for you showing it to her, Pat. That's what it's all about. So tell me what's happening all about your region for fishing.
Rick, inshore, the bite is on. I spoke with, for especially speckled trout and redfish, which are our two mainstay species. Captain Jeff Mormon of First Light Charters in Panama City says the bite is as good as he's ever seen it in their bait system. He's fishing live greenies, live pilchards, and he said the bait's plentiful, easy to find, cast net up a bunch of the pilchards, and then set up on a grass flat with some moving water and start live chumming them. And Captain Jeff's been freelining his baits and catching upper slot grade redfish and trout up to 25 inches this past week. In Chattahoochee Bay, the action's very similar along both the north and south shore grass flats. We've been using artificial baits, soft plastics, and topwater baits, and we've been looking for the terns and the pelicans on the flats and then drift fishing those flats and catching a really good bite of both trout, redfish, blues, and Spanish. And the bigger fish are definitely being caught on the live baits, but we have been catching some 4+ pounders using the soft plastics in the top waters. And then there's a similar scenario going on over in Pensacola. Captain Brad King, he's been coming in every day with a nice mixed bag of redfish, trout, flounder, and mangrove snappers. So the bay bite is definitely going well. There's a photo there of a nice fly rod red we caught Monday morning fishing around Alligator Point over in Chattahoochee Bay. And I mean, that's typical of the fish we're catching on the flats right now.
Now, your offshore bite has been on fire, Pat. What's happening with it now?
It is. The fall is a great time to fish, and the wahoo bite is good right now along the break, and you don't have to go too far to find them, 19 to 20 miles offshore. The main break between Destin and Pensacola and depths of 180 to 250 feet of water. There's some good water pushed up in there, good clean blue water, maybe a little slight green to it, but there's grass in it, there's a lot of bait. And the Swoop, which is a party boat out of Destin, they've been pulling baits between bottom spots, and they've caught 3 nice wahoos just, going from spot to spot this past week. If you really want to target them, pull a couple of trembler baits and also a few ballyhoo lure combinations. Some of the small Todd baits are very popular on our boat, the Out of Here, because they cover up your ballyhoo well. They keep that ballyhoo intact while you're trolling them at 8+ knots. And the wahoos are running 30 to 40 pounds. Also, the king mackerels, all summer they've been a little bit lean, but they're starting to show up pretty well along the same break as well. And they're big fish, 30 to 40 pounders. Slow troll, a live hardtail, a small bluefish, cigar minnow, or a herring. As always, pull a couple baits on top as well as a couple down deep, maybe behind a downrigger or a planer or a trolling lead. And this time of year, it's not uncommon to catch those wahoos I just mentioned, as well as blackfin tunas, cobias, or even a sailfish.
All right, great report, Pat. Thank you so much. Did a great job this year. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the blue water outrigger hotspots from the Panhandle region. Inshore, wade or drift the grass flats in 2 to 4 6 feet of water, casting topwater plugs at first light and soft plastics late for trout and reds. And then offshore, head to the edge. Free-line live baits for pelagics, while bottom fishing for vermilion snappers and groupers.
All right, way to get it going tonight, Rick. Guys, stay with us. On the other side of the break, we're going to head to the Central East with Captain Jim Ross, and we're going off the deep end over there at the workbench. We'll see what Gray has for us. Stick around.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by the Florida Lottery, Yeti Coolers, wildly stronger, keep ice longer, best parts, best prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Captain Harry's Fishing Supply Company, Chevy, the IGFA, conservation through education, get your hands wet, and Olukai.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's loved one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
When the Spanish explorers discovered Isla Morada, they called it Purple Isles. Today, they'd discover such a rich palette of diversions and delicacies, they'd definitely be at a loss for words. Isla Morada in the Florida Keys.
Right now it's time for the news and notes from the FWC. September 28th is Turkey Lake's 4th annual Public Lands Day at Bill Frederick Park in Orlando. You can always find more information at myfwc.com. Right now we're going to head over to the guys for Off the Deep End.
All right, well, we're here at the Jägermeister workbench, and you know, Gray, every week we talk about rigs and techniques over here at the workbench, and I got to tell you, this week we're talking about something that you're very passionate about. Captain Gray Drummond here to represent for. Tell us about hunting, Gray, in Florida. What are we going to need to know, and what do we got to use?
All right, great. Well, as you know, Florida has a variety of animals to hunt, and although it's obviously a fishing state, it's also a hunting state. So, brought a few things here to go over. At beginning of the year, bow season comes in first, sometimes as early, depending on what part of the state, as early as August. You can get out early and start scouting in July, and this is a bow from Bowtech. It's the latest and greatest, but we're going to talk a little bit more about this in our
new product
section coming up. So next up we have muzzleloading season.
Okay, so that happens.
So that rolls right in after
gotcha.
bow season. Okay, you have muzzleloading, and this is an example of what a modern muzzleloader looks like. Wow. It's definitely not your Davy Crockett version, but we're going to talk about this muzzleloader and new products too, because there's some really cool features on this.
Great.
All right?
Okay, so what's next, Gray?
And then next, this is a shotgun.
Certainly not a new product.
This is no. This is probably what I consider the workhorse of all of these. You know, you can do anything with this gun. Bird hunt, deer hunt, quail hunt, turkey hunt, hog hunt. It doesn't matter. It's very versatile. Dove season comes in my particular area, the first part of October. So shotguns usually.
So it's typical 12-gauge shotgun.
It is.
Okay, this is an automatic. What's the brand here?
Well, this is a Benelli, and what's unique about this particular brand is it's a Super Black Eagle, and you can shoot a 2 3/4 inch shell all the way up to a 3.5 inch shell with this gun. So it's very versatile, and in other words, you could go dove hunting with it. Just change the choke out depending on what pattern you would like to use. It simply unscrews.
Right.
I have a turkey choke in, which for turkey season I like a real tight pattern, and I'll use a 3.5 inch during turkey season.
Okay,
and,
so dove hunting, I like using 7.5.
7.5, sure.
Okay, then when we go duck hunting, we have to shoot steel here in the state.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're going to use 2s or 4s.
4s, sure.
And then what would you typically use for turkey hunting?
You could use 2s. You could use 4s.
Full choke?
Full choke, absolutely.
All right, where are we going to want to shoot that turkey, Gray?
The sweet spot, in my opinion, is where the neck joins the body, the breast.
Now, last but not least, now we're hunting in Florida. We're shooting pigs,
Absolutely.
We're shooting hogs, we're shooting turkeys, all the different birds. Obviously, rifle season is general gun, opens up in November. What about this rifle makes it special?
This is a 270 caliber. This is by Remington, a Leopold scope. I prefer 270. It's middle of the road. It's all we need in Florida. You could actually take this gun out west and shoot large game out there. So I know you shoot a 300, which is a little larger. I prefer a smaller caliber. Not quite the recoil. I'm a little more accurate with it.
But you're a big guy. Got the Napoleon syndrome. I want to have the biggest everything that you can have.
Whatever you're comfortable with is what you need to use.
So let me ask you, on the shell, whether it's a 300, whether it's a 270, what grain bullet you like to shoot?
Well, it depends. It depends on what I'm going after. In this particular case, I like a 120 grain, which is a smaller grain. Some of my friends prefer a 130 grain. It's really just a matter of personal choice, and some guns shoot different grains differently. So
hey, good shot.
Enjoyed it, man.
I can't wait to get back over here.
Yeah, the new products is going to be a lot of fun.
And then new products.
Yep.
All right, Lauren, you're certainly no new product around here, so will you please continue to drive the bus one more time?
Yep, this bus is headed right to the CCA Central East with Captain Jim Ross. Captain Jim, the white-tailed deer season just opened up. Any news on how it's going so far?
Oh, you know what, Lauren? Our archery season just opened 2 weeks ago on private land, and it's been pretty darn good for the whitetail so far. Now, the public hunts and the WMAs just came open last weekend, so those guys got a chance to get out and try their luck with a with a stick and a string trying to get themselves a whitetail as well. Now, so far, the hunters I've talked to, like I said, they've been reporting very good trips, and most of them have been able to harvest a deer or at least seen an animal in the areas that they've been hunting and scouting. So that's a positive, especially going into later seasons like the muzzleloader and into the gun season. Now, the duck hunters, on the other hand, have been a little bit disappointed with this early teal season that we just had here because the ducks have been a little scarce. But the Farmer's Almanac says we're supposed to have the coldest winter in 5 years. That bodes well for duck hunters this season. Now, the hog hunters we have around here, I don't think there's a hog hunter that's not smiling right now because they've had banner sessions along the St. Johns River Basin and on most of the swampier public hunting areas throughout my part of the state. They've been getting lots and lots of hogs. And speaking of hog hunting, my buddy Chris Milner over at A&B Graphics in Port Canaveral is going to be putting on a hog hunting tournament with help from the FWC coming up in February. So if you guys and gals are interested in that, you can go to Florida's Only Hog Hunt on the Facebook page on Facebook, and you can find the information out about that. Now, personally, Lauren, I had a banner opening day, and I've got a picture of what I was able to harvest on opening day. I was with my best friend, Dave Marshall, and we were hunting over in Central Florida. We had set up on a pine flat that was adjacent to a little cypress head that a good friend of mine, Arthur Ty, had seen a good deer in last year, but nobody was able to harvest that deer. So for opening season, we scouted in there, and we saw really good signs of a dominant buck, and we went right back in there, set up, and he had rubs and scrapes all over the place. So I put 2 climbing stands on either side of a game trail that was coming in and out of the cypress head that he was working on. Now, about 20 minutes after Dave and I got settled in, we started to hear this animal walking through the water to our east, and the wind was blowing in our face, so we knew that we had him. If he came, we were going to get a shot at him most likely. And when he did, I heard him coming, but I had to stand up in my stand. I had to turn completely around 180 degrees and come to full draw. And what happened is he walked in behind me, and I had just a very small window in the pine saplings. But when I saw him come through there, I just let it fly. Man, I heard a solid hit from the arrow. And I'll tell you, when I saw him come into full view on the other side of the tree, I just about fell out of my tree stand. I'm a good thing I had my safety harness on there, I'm telling you.
Nice get, Jim. Good job.
Congratulations on that, Jim.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic animal. He ran about 25 yards. I shot him straight through the heart. He pulled in just over 180 pounds on the scale once we got him back to the skin and shed at the Boar's Nest Hunt Club there in Central Florida. So I was just absolutely, and still absolutely excited as I can be about that animal.
Bubba, I don't mean to step on your thunder, but we got to talk about some fishing, so let's keep going, Bubba.
I know what you mean, and we got plenty of it around here. And if you guys and gals like sharks, we've got a bunch of them right now. If you're using live bait along the near shore or offshore waters, you're going to get blacktips, duskies, spinners, and a whole bunch of other kinds of sharks because we have got the fall mullet run going on. And just about anywhere where you can put a line in the water along the beaches that there are mullet, you're going to have a chance at hooking a shark. You want some single-strand wire or some multi-strand wire that's testing above 200 pounds, and you want to use a large VMC circle hook when you put it in that mullet. Good areas to try right now are the jetties at Ponce Inlet. The reason is there's a bunch of surfers there, and surfers always draw sharks, it seems like. And then, of course, down at Sebastian Inlet, because we've got a huge population of mullet there as well, and the tip of the Cape at Cape Canaveral itself is also holding good fish, and they're running an average of 30 to 75 pounds right now. Now, inshore, we've also got Spanish mackerel along the beaches and inshore this week. Anglers want to target them from the beaches, the jetties, and from the piers that go into the river or the causeways that cross the river with crocodile spoons, gotcha lures, and hookup jigs. Now, any small, fast-moving lure is going to work because you seem to be working the best. And to increase your strike ratio, run that thing really, really fast, and you should get you a 1 to 3 pound Spanish mackerel in my CCA Central East region. And, of course, lastly, the redfish action remains incredible in the Indian River and Banana Rivers right now. We've got schools of giant fish roaming around. They're blowing up mullet pods. They're blowing up pogie pods throughout the entire Central East part of the area. You want to use Rapala X-Walk 13s or the big gliding wraps or the X-Wraps. They're all working really well. And most of the captains in the area are saying that you need to cast long distances with big stuff and you will catch these fish. Now, as we come into this next new moon phase, they're going to get even more aggressive. Our average redfish right now is running 20 to 25 pounds, but fish over 40 pounds are possible. And I've got a really, really good photo here. Captain John Lulay put Jeff Sweeney and Dan DeCubalist, I believe his name is, on this pair of redfish a couple of days ago. And as you can see, we have no shortage of big reds right now. So if anybody wants to get one, right now is the time to go out and get you one. And if you need a captain, there's plenty of great captains in the Central East region that can get you out there.
Thank you so much for all your hard work this year, Jim. Great job from the CCA Central East region. 2 men hugging a fish just like always. Let's take a look at the hot spots inshore. Snook along the beaches at any area inlet. Use live fingerling mullet, a sliding sinker rig. Offshore, king mackerel on the party grounds. Use free line live pogies or a sea witch strip combos behind a planer. Oof, but that's a lot of action.
That's a lot of action. When we return, we're going to check in with the East and the Southwest. We're going to be right back, guys. Remember to check out our website, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at ChevyFIFR TV.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Guy Harvey Clothing by AFTCO. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin. The best lures, period. Blue Water Outriggers. Everything for your outdoor adventures. Croquis. Made in the USA. Drummond Community Bank. Costa. See what's out there. And Lumber Rock.
Introducing Helmmaster, Yamaha's first fully integrated digital boat control system. With Helmmaster, you can start your outboards with a swipe of a paw and control them with a single lever. Outboard trim and steering friction adjust automatically as you accelerate and decelerate. Adjust engine speed with the touch of a button. The Helmmaster joystick provides the means to navigate and dock precisely with confidence and ease. Take control of your next vessel with Helmmaster at your command.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
What is CCA? CCA has been representing recreational fishermen for over 25 years, and when your rights to fish are threatened, the CCA is there to make sure government regulators are making sound decisions. I'm a life member of CCA, and when fishery decisions are being made, the CCA in the room is fighting for our recreational rights. We need to give our kids the same opportunities to fish as we did. Do what I did. Go to ccaflorida.org and join for only $25 so you can protect your recreational angling rights.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Don't forget, the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report wants to see your photos. Head to our Facebook page and upload your shots, whether it be fishing or hunting. Just be sure to show us the very best of what you've got. All right, now Captain Mike Holliday is in the East region, and Mike, your region offers up a lot of different options for hunters.
We really do. In Palm Beach County, you have the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge, and that's got some areas open to duck hunting. Then there's a Holy Land, a 55 square mile tract open to deer, hog, duck, and small game hunting. In the Corbett Wildlife Management Area, that's a decent spot to hunt deer, hog, snipe, and turkey. And then if you're feeling exotic, J&R Outfitters in Jupiter has everything from quail, snipe, turkey, and alligators to exotics like Asian water buffalo, axis deer, and black buck. And then in Martin County, there's the Dupuy area, Wildlife Management Area, and that's got a lot of deer, hogs, turkey, and small game. And then the Hungry Land, that's a great snipe spot, and it's also got deer and some hogs. And then Alpata Flats in western Martin County, which is a great population of deer, hogs, and small game. And then in St. Lucie County, the only public hunting land is the C23, C24 Reservoir Public Small Game Hunting Area. That's off Okeechobee Road. They allow hunting of hogs and small game, and then also migratory birds. And if you don't mind paying for your opportunity to hunt, there's Quail Creek in St. Lucie County. That's got quail, pheasant, turkey hunting, along with one of the best sporting clay areas around. And then there's also Okeechobee Shooting Sports off State Road 70 in Okeechobee, which is a great place to do shooting clays or sporting clays and to sight in your gun. So a lot of good shooting opportunities in my area.
All right, well, let's talk about some inshore fishing, Mike.
Well, the two consistent factors for snook fishing are that the fish are biting best on the higher tides and that they're eating anything that looks like a mullet right now. The fall mullet runs in full swing. The fish are pushing down the beaches. They're pushing into the inlets all day and all night long, and that's got the snook staged along the seawalls, the rock piles and docks, basically, anywhere that blocks the flow of the mullet. The seawalls around Old Port Cove, around Flagler Avenue, and Perry Como's house up in the Loxahatchee River, all those ones in Hope Sound in the Intercoastal, and all of the Indian St. Lucie River, those seawalls are holding fish as well. Get on the water early, throw topwater plugs like a dye dapper, run them down the seawalls until the light gets up, then casting up some live mullet, put them up against the structure with a 40-pound monofilament leader and a 4-0 circle hook. Average snook right now, anywhere from 4 to 18 pounds. There's some big fish in the mix. I got a photo there. John Clark, one of my clients, took that snook off a seawall in Hope Sound. He caught that on a Yozuri sashimi pencil right at first light. So the snook bite's great in my county right now.
All right, what do you got offshore, bud?
Well, with the westerly winds we've had all week, the snapper fishing's been the most consistent action for the blue water guys. On the southern end of the region, there's been good concentrations of mutton and yellowtail snapper in 50 to 90 feet of water. And then from Hope Sound north to Fort Pierce, the action's been in 80 to 90 feet of water with just an incredible bite from mangrove snapper with a few muttons and the occasional big yellowtail in the mix. Off the St. Lucie Power Plant, there's been a real good mangrove snapper bite, and that action's been at night. And, target these fish with live or dead sardines, cigar minnows, finger mullets. There's plenty of those around right now. Ballyhoo plugs fished on the bottom, 30-pound tackle, 40-pound leader, 3-0 circle hook. You can't go wrong. And you can drift until you mark or catch a fish, then anchor up and chum with glass minnows or block chum. And the average snapper is anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds. And the real good thing going on right now for the blue water guys, the fall showing of blackfin tuna is happening off Palm Beach County waters, with live chumming with sardines or pilchards are producing blackfins up to 30 pounds or more. Most of them are pretty small, and you have to weed through the bonitas and expect some skipjack tunas in the mix as well. The best action's in 200 to 300 feet of water between the Juneau Pier and the Lake Worth Pier, and the fish are spread all the way up into St. Lucie County as well. And you can also troll for the blackfins using small skirted lures, red and black skirted lures, pink, all silver, any of those things. Shotgun those baits way out behind the boat on 30-pound monofilament leader, or if you're going to live chum and toss out a live bait on a 30-pound leader and a 2-0 VMC circle hook. Average blackfins anywhere from 8 to 15 pounds, 30-pounders in the mix. Skipjacks are averaging 8 to 12 pounds. So the bite's great.
One more time till next year. Give us that great bass report, Mike.
Well, with all the rain that we've had the last couple of days, water is really flowing out of the canals on Lake Tahoe, and that moving water is really where the bass are concentrating right now. Start at Shingle Creek, work those areas with moving water using a water buoy colored tap-out worm, rig it Senko style, or you can cast a smoke and shad colored dye dapper up along the shorelines. Now, if you can find the schooling shad out in the open water, it's a little early for it, but if you can find them, you can throw the same baits and do really well. The most consistent open water stuff's been around the shell beds out on Lake Tahoe, throwing a Carolina rig, Junebug colored trick worm, or you can throw a white crankbait around those areas as well. Live shiners are producing the largest fish by far. Most of the guys are using their trolling motors to slow troll the baits around the submerged hydrilla beds, out there in open water in the middle of the lake. It's still hot. The best action's early and late in the day. Most anglers are catching 15 to 20 bass a trip right now on Lake Tahoe. So find the moving water, you find the fish, guys.
All right, thanks for all the great work this year, Mike. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Bennett Auto Supply hotspots from the East region. Captain Mike says inshore, flounder at Little Jim Bridge and Fort Pierce Inlet Jetty. Live finger mullet shrimp and jig combos or white sass and curly-tailed jigs will work really well for those flounder. And then offshore, mangrove snapper, 80 feet of water off of St. Lucie County. Sardines, cigar minnows, or fingerling mullet on the bottom. Really good work after dark.
Awesome. Right now we're going to go over to check in with Captain Ron Houston. Ronnie, you have a few important tips to share with some of the hunters of the Southwest region.
Well, like always, thank you for being here, but most of the terrain in the region is relatively native, to include cypress, pines, palmetto, buttonwood, and holly, with many management areas. such as the Picayune, Fakahatchee, Big Cypress, Fish Eating Creek, Caloosahatchee, and the Webb. But for further information on the rules, always make sure you go to MyFWC to get the most updated information. But it offers a lot of opportunity all through the region for bow, muzzleloading, and open gun for species such as turkey, ducks, dove, quail, rabbit, hogs, and deer. Truthfully, we've got it all on the West Coast, but always make sure if you don't know what the season is and what species and what the limits are, always do your homework and go to FWC.com. And I've got a prime example of a deer that was just shot last week by Brandon Smith with Lawrence Perillo on private land in good old boy country, Collier County.
Good job, man. Nice buck, guys. Keep it coming. All right, Ronnie, what do you got for us inshore?
You know, it's funny. It's an identical report to Mike's report. You know, the largemouth bass right now, with the abundance of rain we've gotten all through the region, with all the extra fresh water flow, you really want to concentrate on residential canals and lakes in the Golden Gate area and the Naples area, anywhere from US 41 to Immokalee Road. You want to concentrate on swales, bridges, culverts, and locks. Plenty of soft plastic, such as the soft plastic Bass Assassin Logger Toads, and the 3.5 to 5 inch die dappers in watermelon, watermelon red, trickster, Houdini, June bug, also colors and chugging lures and 3 to 4 inch slip plugs in white and black and gold. And if you can't find any of this stuff in the store, always get with Bass Assassin. They'll be glad to get you to ship you what you need. On the offshore side, the Spanish mackerels. You really don't have to go far to find these fish. It's a fun bite for the family. Stump Pass to Sanibel, anywhere from the beach line to 10 miles out, concentrating on wrecks, bait pods, markers, and diving birds. Once you find these fish, simple baits such as silver spoons, white, yellow, and chartreuse bucktails, also live shrimp or pilchards will work. Truthfully, the bite's been better with the artificials. Always make sure you have a trace of wire while you're fishing for these fish. And then also, like I've said all year, how good the wreck grouper fishing has been in the region, but right now, Marco to Sanibel, you want to concentrate on fishing ledges and hard bottom. Basically, you want to drift until you find the fish. Depths right now are anywhere from 30 to 60 feet. Baits of choice right now have been live pinfish or a variety of cut baits such as herring, squid, and sardines. Sardines has been best on the cut baits. Before I go, I'd just like to say thank you very much to all the people I've run into all year. Emails and phone calls I've gotten. I greatly appreciate the comments you've given me and how you've told me that my reports have really helped you out, especially for the guys who work all week. Thank you to all, and it's been a great season.
All right, well, the Midnight Rider always makes a difference. Good job. Keep it coming every week, Ronnie. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Southwest hotspots. Inshore, redfish, West Wall, Bull, Turtle Bay, early in the morning using live pinfish and topwater plugs. And then offshore, scattered cobia, round key to Wiggins Pass, fishing wrecks using large live baits, artificial eels, or bright chugging lures on.
Okay, Rick, when we return, we're going to check in with Jeffrey Page in the Central West, and we're going to have some new products with Gray over at the workbench. You guys stay right where you are.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by CCA, the voice of recreational anglers for over 25 years. The Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. Hookup Lures, premium lures for serious anglers. La Jolla Resort, a place for family and fishermen. And Maverick Boat Company, makers of premium brand boats. Maverick, Hughes, Pathfinder, and Cobia.
Hi, I'm Ariana.
I'm Natalie of the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders for Bennett Auto Supply.
When it comes to spark plugs, look to NGK, the world leader in spark plug technology. NGK makes spark plugs for virtually every automobile, motorcycle, marine, and small engine application.
With NGK spark plugs, you get improved performance and increased fuel economy. So just ask your local technician for NGK spark plugs, the leader in spark plug technology, available at Bennett Auto Supply.
Best parts,
best prices, Bennett Auto Supply.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's loved one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
back to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. You know, Captain Gray Drummond in the house here talking about new products like we do every week. Gray, tell me about Florida Outdoor Experience in a minute, but more importantly, I want you to tell me about this bow tech that we talked about earlier.
This is exciting. This particular bow is by Bowtech. It's called the Experience. And out of the 12 new bows that have come out this year, this one was rated #1 by Field and Stream.
Now, what makes that one #1? What did they have to do?
To be very generalized about it, there are two types of bows, so to speak. You'll have the bow that is very comfortable to pull back. Generally, they're very accurate, but you lose some speed when you go that route. Then you have the speed bows. They're not quite as accurate. They're tough to pull back.
Right.
And, you know, so it's a sacrifice. And this particular bow, you have the best of both worlds. I mean, this bow, it is shooting close to 300 feet per second.
Wow.
And it is a dream to pull back. It is super smooth, very quiet. This is the latest and greatest.
Now
and it's only 4 pounds.
Now, you might not know because it is so new, Gray, but what would something typically cost like this with the sight and with the arrows and all that?
Well,
a rough estimate.
A rough estimate, you're looking at about $1,000.
Oh, so like a fly rod and a good fly reel.
That's exactly right.
Now, what is this concoction here, Gray?
Well, Shane at Jerry's Indoor Archery in Ocala provided this for me. This is a bow sight, and what's unique about this sight, if you want to turn it that way so the folks can see it, what's so unique, generally, most of the traditional sights have multi-pins, and each pin would represent different yardage. This sight, as you can see, only has one pin, and as you range the animal you're going to shoot, say it's at 30 yards.
Right.
Well, you use the dial over here, or better yet, let's say it's at 32 yards. You just turn the dial to your 32-yard marker.
Oh, and I
right
felt
there,
it.
and you can feel the sight slide up and down. Yeah,
slide up.
exactly.
So it adjusts for you.
It adjusts for you.
Wow.
And it's one sight, and you can be very accurate because you're actually pinning it down to the exact yardage.
Wow. All right, Gray.
Okay.
So what do we have here? This is not your traditional Boone,
This,
Daniel
I tell you,
Boone.
no, it's not. Muzzle loaders have come light years from back in the day. What is so special about this muzzle loader? As it's set up right now, it is a traditional muzzle loader. However, you can change the barrel out on this.
What?
Yeah, man. It could be a shotgun. You can turn this into a 270, a 300 in your case, a 22.
Interchangeable.
Now you still only have one shot.
Well, I only need one shot.
I know
right?
you, and that's it. That's right. That's right. just like Colin and Ridge.
Yeah. All right. Now this camo is not as traditional, a little funky looking. Explain to me what this is about.
It is. This is a relatively new company that's only been out a couple of years. They're out of California, and they have, as you can see, incorporated the digital look into their camo. And
what's the name of this, Gray?
It's called Kuiu.
Kuiu.
K-U-I-U. And the thought process behind this, you know, deer don't see like you and I.
Right.
I mean, they see a little differently, and it's been proven that the digital camouflage works the best when deer hunting. Now, turkey hunting, you might go a different route, but for deer hunting, I do like this. Plus, it's a very athletic fit. It's very light, and it's great for our environment here in Florida.
I always wonder how guys know where to set their tree stand, and certainly trail cameras have really
Man,
changed
that's an
the way
exciting
we do.
part of hunting because, you know, in today's day and age, you get to go out and you actually can, you know, a month before hunting season comes in, you know what's coming to your stand.
Now this is a new one from
this
Primos?
This is a new one from Primos, and as you can see, the old ones used to be twice as large,
right?
And they had a very large flash on it, which would scare the deer most of the time. This is infrared. It has video and photos. Your HD card slides in right here. You can pop that out, put it in your camera or in a little viewer, and you can see right at your deer stand what's coming to it. So
wow.
it's
no
a really
flash,
cool,
which doesn't.
and it's very compact, and you can have that thing up and set up in 3 minutes or less.
All right, great. Safety harness. We heard Captain Jim talk about one.
I tell you, Rick. You know, most of the accidents every year in hunting season, it's not the discharge of a firearm. It's falling out of a tree. And it's so important, folks, to wear a safety harness when you're hunting, whether you're bow hunting, gun hunting, or whatnot. If you're up in a tree stand or up a tree, wear a safety harness. This one is a really, really cool safety harness. It's by Hunter Safety System, and as you can see, it's vented. So in this Florida heat, it'll keep you cool. I highly recommend this one. Hunter Safety System has been around a long time, and they really know what they're doing.
Well,
excellent company.
You know, whether it's a
and
safe...
whether it's Hunter Safety System or whoever, whatever
Right.
company, you wear one of these things.
Yeah, having a safety harness is no different than being up the creek without the paddle. You got to have it, right?
Exactly, man. It's a necessity. So it's like a seatbelt.
Mr. Drummond, tell me real quickly the website if people want to understand or go,
Yeah, man.
go hunting or fishing with you.
If you want to come hunting or fishing with me, go to FloridaOutdoorExperience.com. We do everything from trophy whitetail hunts, gator hunts, tarpon fishing, red fishing, you name it. If it's offered in Florida, we can certainly put you on it. So
All right,
check it
stand
out.
back because I don't know how big this animal's going to get now. All right, Lauren, what region are we going to next?
Well, you guys, I was about to be pretty envious of all of the camo going on over there because I didn't have any, but then I remembered I got hooked up with the reactor with my camo face, so your turn to be jealous. Don't hate.
You
Sorry,
always
Rick.
have something I
know,
don't have.
don't hate. All right, right now we're going to head to Captain Jeffrey Page. Jeffrey, the Starbright Central West has more to offer hunters on private tracts of land rather than the public, right?
That's right, but real quick, I got to brag on Gray Drummond just a second. You know what? To steal a line from Outlaw Josie Wales, you got to watch him, Abe. When he gets that bow or that gun in his hand, and I never hear Rick say much as far as bragging about another guy, but he told me, Gray, as far as hunting goes, you're one heck of a hunter.
Well, that says a lot, Rick.
All right, let's go, Paige.
Anyway,
Come on.
In my region, we have a lot more private stuff than we do public. And when I say by that, I mean if you know somebody that has some property out east, everything's out east here. That's probably your best way to go. Or if you can get permission and get a key to a gate, that's the other way to go. But as far as public land, probably the most well-known one we have is down in the south part of my region, which is in DeSoto and Charlotte County. It's the J.W. Corbett area. And there is some really good turkey, hog, and some smaller deer. But as far as bigger deer, a lot of our guys, a lot of our good hunters in my region, they like to travel up towards where Gray lives and even north into Georgia and Alabama because it's just so much better for the bigger deer. But down here we have a really good hog hunting, pretty decent turkey hunting. And like I said, the best thing to do is to get in touch with myfwc.com on what is in season and what's not in season and what lands are available to public hunters.
Well, I know what's in season in the water. Won't you tell me how great the red fishing is?
Well, we've had about 6-8 inches of rain over the last 2 days, but up until that, as you know, redfish were schooled out throughout our entire region. And the key, Rick, was getting out early and spotting the groups of fish before the wind would get blowing, before the boat traffic would fire up, and then stay off the fish as far as possible. Sometimes that's impossible because they're on the move and you got to stay with them, and that's where a good trolling motor comes into play. 1/4 ounce gold spoons, one good bait, and another good bait that you and I have been throwing is that new 4-inch Elite Shiner in Robin's new color, the Mama 14 karat pattern. And it's been tough to beat that rig on an 1/8 or 1/4 ounce hookup jig head. And what we've been doing, as you know, is we've been just throwing it out and steady retrieving it, just like you would a gold spoon. Not twitching it, not jerking it, just holding your rod in a position, steady retrieving it. Look for lots of the fish to be over slot, but a lot of them are right there in that 26, 27-inch range. In the north part of the region, the fish have been pretty consistent on the outer bars at the mouth of the Manatee River, as well as outside Terracea Bay. The west side of Lemon Bay, down to the south part of my region, just north and south of South Pass, look for the fish to stay bunched up till that first cold front. I got a photo tonight of the manager of Economy Tackle and stand-up paddleboard champ, Bobby Mazzarato, with a real nice redfish he caught with me last week.
All right, what else? Let's go offshore, Bub.
Offshore, Captain Chris Seeger, your friend of mine of Tightline Charters out of Marina Jackson, downtown Sarasota, still banging on them gag groupers. He says that they've been very consistent all summer long. Haven't talked to him since we've had all this rain. But up until it, he said the most productive areas have been in that 120-foot range on out. And he's been looking for hard bottom, marking bait stacks, ledges, roll-offs. And he says the live pinfish are out fishing and live grunts are out fishing the frozen sardine 2-1. Species 2, the season doesn't open for another 4 or 5 days, but all indications point towards the red snapper bite's going to be really strong, mainly because the fish have been left alone, nobody's been messing with them, and everybody has been out grouper fishing and snapper fishing, mangrove snapper, said they can't keep them off their hooks. 140 to 160 over just about any hard bottom, wrecks, ledges, structure. Like I said last week, Rick, the key has been getting anchored up properly over your structure. And then it really doesn't matter, live bait, frozen bait. Those snappers are going to eat. Remember to go to FWC, myfwc.com to check up on your regs. In my region, the federal waters start at 9 miles. So our red snapper bite really doesn't get going until you get out 20, 30 miles. So you're good to go. Real quick, I just want to thank Chevy, Yamaha, all our awesome sponsors who make the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report possible. And most important to all our anglers and people that watch the show, you guys, we've been on the air for 10 years and we can't do it without you. Let's have a safe winter season, safe hunting season, and don't forget, get out and get you a Chevy truck.
All right, great report, Captain Page. Way to sign off. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Startron hotspots from the Central West region. Inshore, snook, good night time on most of the bridges and dock lights in the entire Starbright region. Live free line shrimp or a DOA glow shrimp fished during the outgoing tide. And then offshore, mangrove snapper, lots of mangs holding on the ledges and hard bottom in 80 to 120 feet of water. Live pinfish or pilchards are going to be the best bait.
All right, we got a quick important reminder real quick. The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is going on tour. Come out and meet Captain Rick Murphy and Jeffrey Page at Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe, October 16th at 5 p.m. Is that you?
Yeah, man, that's going to be fun.
All right, don't stand us up. All right, now stay with us. When we return, we're going to check in with Captains Jeff Hageman and Jimbo Thomas. There's always much more to come right here on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy, the Florida Lottery, Best Parts, Best Prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Contender Boats, Performance Through Innovation, Navionics, We Start Where the Roads End, and Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.com, where you can get weekly reports from all 9 captains, and remember to check us out on Facebook as well. Right now, we're going to take off to the Yeti Northwest region. That's where Captain Jeff Hageman is. Captain Jeff, you say your region offers some of the best hunting in the state for a few specific species. Tell us more.
We have the best hunting in the state.
Oh, period?
We've got it. We've got all kinds of stuff to offer in my region. It's such a big region, from whitetails to hogs, turkeys, gators, doves, ducks, quail. We got all the fowls too. But our state's got such a big region, and it's so, my region is so large. We've got so much to offer. We've got wildlife management areas throughout my entire region that you can do on quota hunts, that you can do on lottery hunts, that you can just walk in and hunt. You really want to check with the FWC on the regs to each one of these, because each one of these is different. We've got Dixie Sportsman Adventure Hunting Preserve, which is exotic. We've got African Plains game from elk, buffalo, deer, all the antelopes and all that stuff there. Also, we've got private places to hunt, like Gray's Place, Florida Outdoor Experience. You can go hunt hogs, whitetail, gators, and turkeys. We've got all that to offer, all different kinds of seasons, from bow, to gun, to muzzleloader. We've got all that and a lot to get out there and look for. You really want to check out your local hunting shop, Arrowhead Archery in my area. Jonathan, the guys down there will help you. But get to your local hunting shop, and it'll really get you started with places to go, and get on the FWC website, and that'll really help you a lot too.
All right, tell me about the red fishing. It's great to the south. How about your region?
It's been unbelievable. My whole region right now is just absolutely covered up with redfish. Both the top and the bottom of the tides are doing really, really well. Cut bait and live bait working really good. Artificials right now, they're chasing anything you throw at them. Topwater spinner bait's doing really well. Hitter walks, sub walks, all doing good. Doing real good in that mossback color, and that Halloween color has been working really good too. Offshore, the grouper bite has been on fire as well. Most of the fish right now are anywhere from 60 to 110 feet of water. You want to look at rock piles, ledges, that Swiss cheese bottom I talked about. We got a lot of that up here in my region. That's where you're going to find most of your red grouper. But the gags have been more on the ledges and the big rock piles. It's a great time of year right now also to look around. There's so many grouper right now that they're overcrowding spots, and fish are leaving to go to other spots. So get on your bottom machine. Once you get out there and have some fun, get on your bottom machine and actually just looking around, and you're going to get more fish on smaller structures right now, and it'll really show better on your machine because they'll be piled up on it. So you might find your next new little hot spot that you wouldn't usually find with the fish not being so concentrated right now. So get out there and really pay attention to your bottom machine right now. You can find another great spot right now. And also offshore, we've got tons of sharks. I don't know why the sharks are so thick right now, but anything offshore right now, from 70 feet of it on out, over any kind of high relief structure, we've got spinners, black tips, and little reef sharks everywhere. As soon as you throw some chum over the side, they're really coming up thick. You can bring them right to the back of the boat. You can get the fly rod out on them. They're fun. They're anywhere from 5 to 45 pounds, and even some black tips up to 60 and 70 pounds. So, I mean, you can have a lot of good fun out there. The kids love catching them. Just make sure you take a de-hooker with you so you don't lose your fingers.
All right, Hag, before we go, you know what? I want to know, what is your favorite type of hunting to do and why?
It's archery hunting. It's kind of like the fly fishing guy. You gotta figure out everything about your game you're chasing, whether you're hog hunting or you're deer hunting. Getting in a tree stand, putting that tree stand in the right spot, and actually outsmarting that animal and bringing them up close to you so you can make a good shot.
So if there's outsmarting the animal, is that how you measure your success, that he was smarter than you or you smarter than him if you don't get him? I'm sorry, I had to ask.
And sometimes it works both ways.
All right, well, you've done a great job for us this year, Captain, and you are definitely the bad boy of the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Drummond Community Bank hotspots from the Northwest region. Inshore, redfish throughout the region on the top of the tide use live and cut bait or a 1/4 ounce gold spoon. and topwater plugs early in the morning. And then offshore, grouper in 45 to 110 feet of water over the rock piles and ledges. Pinfish and cut sardines on a standard bottom rig is going to catch you those grouper, Lauren.
The bad boy.
The bad boy.
You think so?
Oh, God.
You know, don't answer that. You know
No.
so. All right, gang, let's head now to check in with Captain Jimbo Thomas in the southeast region. Jimbo, it sounds like the good hunting spots are a little more scarce around you.
Yep, this is the good boy here.
We knew that.
Yeah, I know. Now, we don't have as many hunting opportunities here in the southeast region as they do in the rest of the state, maybe because it's just the big city that we're living in here. But there is some deer, hog, and turkey hunting that takes place in the Everglades. But most of that area right now is underwater, and it's off limits. Everything's closed to let the animals have a little rest out there. So most of that kind of hunting does take place further to the north. But we do have some good dove hunting for mourning and whitetail dove. There's a number of private leases in the region, and there's only one public dove field that I'm aware of, and that is the Frog Pond North Special Opportunity Dove Field. That's down in Homestead, down in Rick's neck of the woods. And dove season opens on October 5th, and the limit is 15 doves, 4 of which can be white-winged doves. And the first phase of the dove season is afternoon hunts, and those afternoon hunts start at 12 noon, and they end 1/2 hour before sunset. There's also quite a few ringneck doves. They do not count towards your limit, and you can hunt them year-round. And there's also some duck hunting that takes place in the north end of the region for teal, ringneck, pintail, mottled, and wood ducks. And that's around water management areas 3A and 3B. And the region is also home to some trophy alligator hunting, and gigging for frogs is also quite popular. But, all right, now something I'm a little more familiar with. There's been some good sea trout fishing in North Biscayne Bay. Not necessarily sea trout fishing, but fishing in general. Captain Alan Sherman, he's been fishing the grass flats in 4 to 6 feet of water from Venetian Causeway north to Broad Causeway. And the best action has been in the areas with good moving water and with bait fish activity. We're starting to see some schools of small pilchards and sardines moving into the area, and the sea trout have been following those baits. So look for signs of bait flipping or birds working. That's where you want to start fishing. Now, most of the trout are in the 15 to 18-inch range, but there have been larger ones mixed in up to 26 inches, which I believe that's up in about the 5-pound range. That's a big trout. The best baits have been small live pilchards fished under a Cajun Thunder, or Trigger X or Gulp Shrimp, also under the Cajun Thunder. And then with artificials, green or black back number 10 Rapala X wraps. And mixed in with those sea trout, there's been some mangrove snappers up to 14 inches, jack crevalles up to 10 pounds, and some ladyfish on the certain days the ladyfish moving for some reason. Now moving offshore, the weather's been relatively nice the last few days, and the swordfish bite has been good offshore. And with the calm weather, it enables everybody to get out there and fish for them. It seems like the daytime bite has been better in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, and the nighttime bite's been better as you get further north up in the Hillsborough, north to Palm Beach area. In the daytime, the swords are being caught in 1,500 to 1,900 feet of water, fishing with dolphin bellies, bonita strips, and rigged squid, and you want to fish those baits near the bottom with lights above your baits. And then Captain Bouncer Smith, he has caught daytime sword up to 300 pounds in the last week. And then at night, Captain Art Sapp, he fishes out of Hillsborough Inlet, and he's been doing well fishing with live blue runners and rigged squid in 1,500 feet of water up there off Hillsborough Inlet. And he's been fishing his bait staggered at various depths from the surface on down to 400 feet, and he's also had swords up to 300 pounds. Then in a little closer, fishing along the edge or the drop-off has been kind of slow the last few days because we've had a lot of green water and no north current or very little north current, but that could change overnight. Hopefully it does, and then our inshore or our fishing on the edge will really pick up. But what that slow current's made it ideal for is dropping down to the bottom for vermilion snapper. Now, throughout the region, good-sized vermilions are being caught on cut squid and cut bonita, fishing along ledges and around wrecks in 240 to 450 feet of water. And this time of the year, the vermilions, they're staples of those party boats coming out of all the inlets, and that's what keeps them going right now. Captain Wayne Kahn, he runs the reward fleet out of Miami Beach Marina, He's been fishing on the scattered rock piles in 300 to 450 feet of water off government cut. And he's been using chicken rigs and cut bait. He's having nice catches of vermilion snappers every day, fish up to 3 pounds.
Hey, Jimbo, before we go, I've got to ask you a question. You know, when it comes to catching your bait, certainly, is there any certain tricks that you would give somebody in the Miami area to find that bait and what to do to help preserve it?
Well, you know, nowadays it's science keeping our baits alive and how we catch and handle them. There's a number of good bait spots down in the Miami area here. I go out of government cut. I fish around the bent range marker. A lot of times we do catch bait in the cut, which is really nice because if it's rough, you can catch your bait in calm water. But sabiki rig is what you need, a block of chum, and a D-hooker, and a bait well that has really good water flow. And with that, you can go out and catch pretty much anything. We catch our blue runners. You can catch goggle eyes, pilchards, threadfin herrings, cigar minnows, speedos. You know, depending on what type of fishing we're going to do, that kind of dictates what kind of bait we want to try and get. But ultimately, we like to catch them all and have a good variety on board.
All right, thank you so much, Jimbo. Great reports this year. I'm going to go ahead and get to the Sports Grill hotspots from the Captain Harry Southeast region. In short, fish North Biscayne Bay with small live pilchards for sea trout, or look for snook in the inlets with live pinfish or pilchards. And then offshore, fish cut baits around the bottom. Good structure for vermilion snappers in 200 to 400 feet of water. Also, fish a live herring or pilchard on the surface for whatever else might swim by, Lauren.
Rick, I think they're all actually pretty good guys.
Yeah, they are.
Don't you think?
They work hard.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We'll keep them. All right, when we return, we're going to have the Coastal Conservation Minute, and we're going to visit Captain Randy Tao from the Florida Keys. Don't miss it.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best built performance sports watch, period. StarTron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's loved one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector's Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family-owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers, Contender boats. Performance through innovation.
Today's Costa Conservation Minute, it's about circle hooks. Now guys, the reason why we continue to repeat this Conservation Minute obviously is because of the importance. Now, it originated in bill fishing. We started in the late 90s using circle hooks because they truly are a hook that slides into the corner of the mouth, which we're going to demonstrate. But now what has happened in the inshore arena, we're all using circle hooks in a live bait situation for obvious reasons. It slides into the corner of that snook's mouth. It slides into the corner of the tarpon's mouth. Everybody seems now to, whenever we're in a bait fishing situation, including the bass guys using live shiners, are actually using circle hooks. Now let's talk a little bit about how those circle hooks work. If this is our bass or our snook or even a billfish's mouth and he eats our bait, what ends up happening is as we pull and slide slowly, you can see how the hook itself by nature goes into the corner of the fish's mouth and hooks itself. The same thing applies with a tarpon if you're using it on a pinfish or a mullet. Once again, remember when you're circle hook fishing, if you yank real hard, that's what ends up happening. You miss the bite. You slowly just have to come tight, and as you come tight, you can see how it pops to the corner of the mouth. The reason why we want to use these is because we don't belly hook or gut hook the billfish, the tarpon, or the snook, which makes our job much easier when it comes to releasing our fish. And that's today's Costa Conservation Minute. So is that how Tony caught you? He just reeled slowly?
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah, sure. Let's round out our report this week in the La Jolla, Florida Keys with Captain Randy Tao. Captain Randy, what can you tell us about hunting in the Keys?
Oh boy. Good evening,
Oh, boy.
fans. I can tell you right now, we got no hunting here other than going offshore, catching some dolphin. You know, here we are into September, and we've actually got a pretty good dolphin bite going on right now. Now, it's not for everybody. It's not like everybody's going to jump in their boat and go out and catch a dolphin. You got to know what to look for. You got to be prepared. And these are the things that make your fishing trip better when you go. And right now, if you find some weeds, the scattered weeds out in 400 to 700 feet is where the dolphin are going to be. Now, a lot of times you'll run 30 miles offshore. You go buy all the fish. So don't overlook what you're looking for. And right now, the fish have not been on birds. They've been on the weeds. And some of these weeds are scattered in a line, and some are just kind of big patches that you might find. So you really want to pay attention to what you see as you're going offshore if you want to go dolphin fishing. And there's been a good bite around these weed lines. If you want to troll your ballyhoos or some of your small lures, find the clean edge of the weed line and troll down that line and look for these fish. They're going to be swimming around the weeds. You know, that's all we got this time of year. A lot of these fish are focusing on anything floating debris, floating weeds, and any of those weed lines that you find are going to have these dolphin around it. So you're going to troll, but you're also going to have your pitch rods ready. And live bait this time of year is key. You want to have pilchards. You want to have the small little jacks that you'll find under a big weed patch. That live bait will definitely help you in catching fish right now. Some of these fish might be schoolie size, and they might be 25-pounders. And you also want to keep your eyes open for floating debris. A tree, a piece of bamboo, a chair. You never know what's going to be floating, and all of these floating debris parts are going to have fish on them. So be aware when you're going offshore and be prepared. You never know what you're going to run across.
All right, what do you got for us offshore also, Randy?
You know, we got to talk about wahoo, because here we are talking about debris, talking about weed lines. We're talking about the same exact thing that wahoos hang out under. And right now, there's been some nice wahoos being caught under some of this debris. Now, like I said, it might be a log, it might be a large patch of weeds, but whatever it is, it's holding bait, and that bait is holding the other fish. And a lot of these wahoos will be 20 to 50 feet down underneath the surface. So you want to be prepared with a rod with a vertical jig on it, or possibly a rod with a lead that you can drop a live bait down and get in front of these wahoos. I did talk to a couple friends of mine that have been catching some nice wahoos, some schoolie size, which are 10 to 15 pounds, and then some 30-pound fish are being caught as well, but you've got to be prepared. They may be there. You've got to drop down to find out. That's the only way you're going to know. You can also troll with a weight on your line and a dark-colored skirt with a ballyhoo. A lot of times a wahoo will hit that, but usually you'll get tangled up in the dolphin, and you want to drop down as you're dolphin fishing to catch that wahoo. They have been around pretty good.
All right, tell me about the inshore, bub.
Tarpon, you know, Rick, this time of year, there's some tarpon around. Not everybody's tarpon fishing, but I can tell you the tarpon bite's been pretty good for me, and you really got to do your due diligence. You know, the early morning has been good. There's been some fish around the Flamingo area and also out to the west. Some of these fish start to come back this time of year. We're getting into late September, October, and we do have probably a month-long period of some pretty good tarpon fishing. Now, if you're a fly fisherman, you're going to want to go to a sinking line, something that's going to get down, because a lot of these spots you may not see a lot of tarpon rolling or busting or, you know, obvious that there are fish there, but there's some fish in the area, and you just got to pay your dues. You got to soak a bait on the bottom, or you got to throw that fly with a sinking line and just give it a little time to see if anybody's there. But there are some tarpon around. We've had some pretty good success this past weekend, and I'm sure for the next 30 days it's going to be pretty good tarpon fishing in the backcountry.
What else you have inshore, big man?
Mangrove snappers. I'll tell you what, you know, it's kind of the go-to fish right now because you get tired of some redfish, you get tired of snook fishing, or you can't catch them or they're not biting, and you can fall back on the mangrove snappers. Right now, a lot of the channels, especially around the Flamingo area and to the south of there, if you find some clean water in some of these channels with some tide moving, I've been having some real good luck on some nice mangrove snappers on fresh cut bait, whether it's a half a pinfish, a piece of pilchard, small pilchard's ideal, even a piece of cut mullet. You want to fish it on the bottom. A 1/4 ounce hookup is perfect for doing that. Stake your boat up along the edge of the flat, throw it out into the middle, and a lot of times that'll yield you some nice snappers in the 15 to 16, even 18-inch range. So there's some nice snappers in the backcountry right now. If you want to fish those channels, I would recommend not chumming with a chum bag because that attracts a lot of the smaller fish. And there's been some real nice fish we've been catching without chumming.
All right, great report from the Florida Keys, La Jolla region, Randy. I'm going to go ahead and get to the hot spots, and we'll see what's going on. Inshore, mangrove snappers, fish the channel where you have clear water, anchor along the edge, and fish cut bait on a 1/4 ounce hookup with no more than 15-pound leader. And then offshore, dolphin, look for the weeds or anything floating in 400 to 700 feet of water. Troll ballyhoo along the clean side and look for the fish swimming northeast with the current. Have your live bait rod ready to throw the bait to them.
All right, now let's take a look and see what tournaments are going on around the Keys, Rick. First up, the Islamorada All-Tackle Bonefish and Permit Championship set for October 13th through the 16th. It features prizes for the most releases in bait, artificial, and fly divisions, as well as for the largest bonefish and permit. Next, it's the Casting for Cats Women's Backcountry Tournament scheduled for October 18th and 19th. This all-release event targets bonefish, permit, tarpon, snook, and redfish. Also, anglers are to compete for prizes and trophies at the Chica Lodge All-American Backcountry Tournament on Veterans Day weekend. The tournament targets snook, redfish, bonefish, tarpon, and permit. It benefits the George Hummel Florida Keys Habitat Fund. And finally, 3 Islamorada-based December sailfish tournaments in the year for the Florida Keys tournament scene. They include the Islamorada Sailfish Tournament set for December 5th through the 8th, the Don Giglio, am I saying that right? Close.
Something like that. That's close.
Sailfish Classic, December 13th through the 15th. And last, the Islamorada Junior Sailfish Tournament, December 16th through the 18th. Always tons going on down in the Keys.
You got it.
Yeah, now Andy Newman has some more to add from the Florida Keys. Andy?
Lauren, for the final show of the season, we're going to focus on a unique fishing university designed especially for women anglers. Now let's get Carmelo to roll that video. It's billed as the No Yelling School of Fishing. Ladies Let's Go Fishing is on for November 15th to the 17th in the Upper Keys. The seminar provides a hands-on fishing skills opportunity for offshore, bottom, inshore, and fly fishing. Student anglers will gain proficiency in knot tying, bait rigging, spin and net casting, stand-up fish fighting techniques as well as boat and trailer handling. They even learn how to gas fish and to remove hooks. Final day features an opportunity to put those learned skills to use during an offshore or backcountry fishing trip. Now, more details on the seminar are available at ladiesletsgofishing.com. And, of course, Rick and Lauren, all the upcoming tournaments and events in the fabulous Florida Keys, they can be found on that Florida Keys website. It is FLAKeys.com. And back to you guys in the studio, and we're ending the year on a great note.
Thank you
Sure
so much,
are.
Andy.
Thanks, Andy. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, as Jeffrey Page would say, we've got a little sweet action when we return.
For over 30 years, Guy Harvey has masterfully captured the wonder of marine wildlife in his artwork. Now he's sharing his inspiration with the Florida Lottery by creating 12 exclusive images for the Collector Series Guy Harvey Scratch-Off game, featuring a top prize of $50,000 and a second chance opportunity to fish with Guy Harvey himself. Celebrate the beauty and riches of Florida with Guy Harvey Scratch-Off games today. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Hi, I lost a big fish earlier today. Wasn't using suffix. It was about this big.
Look, slow down there, cowboy, okay? A fish in the lobster van, huh? You want your fish. Sorry, honey, that fish is gone.
Always use the best line, Suffix 832.
Introducing Helmmaster, Yamaha's first fully integrated digital boat control system. With Helmmaster, you can start your outboards with a swipe of a fob and control them with a single lever. Outboard trim and steering friction adjust automatically as you accelerate and decelerate. Adjust engine speed with the touch of a button. The Helmmaster joystick provides the means to navigate and dock precisely with confidence and ease. Take control of your next vessel with Helmmaster at your command.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
For a huge selection of fishing boats and family cruisers, don't miss the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Now with an expanded display of boats under 45 feet, plus the latest marine gear, electronics, and everything for the water. 5 days of live music, great food, cocktails, fashion shows, fishing seminars, dive shows, and kids fishing activities. The Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, October 31st through November 4th. Get your tickets early at showmanagement.com.
All right, guys, we have to announce a couple of our Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report Fall Prize Package winners. Our grand prize winner was Kathy Bradford from Alberton, Georgia. Second place winner for Reactor Watch is Douglas Baggett, Bryceville, Florida. And our third place winner, he gets an Olokai prize pack, is Julio Aliluna from Hollywood, Florida. Hopefully I didn't butcher anyone's names too badly tonight.
No, you didn't. And you know what? The other thing that people can remember, Lauren, is they can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram.
Absolutely. All year long.
You know, we got this beautiful cake. It's the year-end gray. Thank you for coming in the last show. But Jaeger, because it was the last show, they have a new product that they wanted to give us a couple bottles to try. It's their new cinnamon vanilla blend Jägermeister.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
So we are going to have some of that as soon as they turn these cameras off so that we don't get into any
Big
trouble.
cheers from the crew.
Hey, more importantly, guys, thank you again
Absolutely.
for coming. You came last year, and we certainly appreciate everything you guys do for us. And more importantly, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next year.
year.